Excellent. We now, Mr. Ridge, is this an opportune time to ask Mr. Brown to come forward with his partner, Mr. Munro, agenda item number 10? So just before we start on this 10, just to give you a little bit of overview on this, going back into the last triennium, we removed the rowing club rooms from Tupara Road on Cache Bay Strait, you might remember. It was quite controversial at the time. That was the rowing club's base, headquarters, etc. Duncan has been working tirelessly, I might say, trying to find a new place to relocate the rowing club, because those skiff things are quite long. They've had a lot of conversations with the likes of the yacht club and over the harbour, trying to build on top of the bunker and things like that. He has worked tirelessly for 4 or 5 years that I know of, and this is his latest dream, of which he shared with me a month or two ago, and I completely share it with him and asked him to get before council as quick as possible, because if it was going to happen, I'd dearly love to see it happen before election days next year, and I'm sure Mr. Brown would as well. So, Mr. Brown, would you like to introduce your guest, Mr. Munro, and I'll hand over to you and Mr. Ridd.
Thank you, Mayor Rick and councillors. I'm Duncan Brown, and this is Hugh Munro, and we are representing the Taupo Rowing Club here today. We've got a tabled a copy of our plans, and I'd like to spend just 5 minutes or so talking our way through the plans that are sitting in front of you. Mayor Rick has taken over a little bit of the history, and I have chosen not to delve on the history today. Most of you will probably be aware of it. We are going to focus on the future. So if you could, I'll just talk through the proposal here. To start off with, we have a project summary. The Taupo Rowing Club is seeking to lease land from the Taupo District Council to enable the club to build boat storage and clubhouse facilities. The project will be largely self-funded. The facility will be architecturally designed and unobtrusively blend into the surrounding area. It will complement existing land use. And we plan to complete this project in 3 stages. 1, acquisition of the suitable land, initial design and consents. 2, formation of a steering committee to finalise plans. And we envisage that steering committee will be represented by business leaders in Taupo. And we've had some very, very good support to date on where we're going with that. And stage 3, once we finalise that, will be construction. As far as costing and development goes, we will ask the council to meet the cost of the required consents. The primary cost of stage 2 will be engineering reports and working drawings. And we are confident that the stage 3 will attract sizable corporate sponsorship. And we've already worked with local suppliers, engineers, to talk through the cost effectiveness of the project we're looking at here. So if you'd like to split the page here and get an idea of what we envisage. We have been working with the council for 5 years now to identify a suitable base from which to row, and we believe that we've now identified the most appropriate location. And this is with consultation with council. We've looked at a number of options over the years and been a little bit frustrated in our ambitions. However, we've chosen with consultation with council this site because of the proximity to the yacht club and the harbour master, the central location, which encourages schools rowers, the access to sheltered water, and of the unobtrusive footprint that does not impede views in any way. You'll see here we've done a design of what we think the club would look like. We've got a footprint there of where we believe it will fit unobtrusively. You'll notice there that we've got a platform that will sit exactly where Ferry Road is as well, which will add another dimension of a viewing platform that the whole community can enjoy. And if we flick over the page there, I'll give you a little bit of background of who we are and what we do. That photo there was taken 3 days ago, and that is Nui students, year 10, getting out in the boat, and you can see they're having a great time. And it's right now we're going through a really good resurgence. So established back in the 1970s, we've been at 2 Mile Bay initially in the mid-70s, out at Arataki and more recently at Tupara Road, which we abandoned 5 years ago because of concerns over safety for school rowers. We have a fleet of late model rowing skiffs and assets totalling around $80,000. In 1 year alone we raised $50,000 to purchase new boats. The success of the 2012 Olympics has created renewed demand for rowing at a national level, and we have had unprecedented inquiry in recent months. We've got over 50 students from both colleges that wish to be involved in rowing. We've got 20 that are actively training on the water now. We've got 30 adult rowers who are actively involved in the club, and we strongly believe that with permanent facilities, rowing can once again be a major sport in Taupo. As far as the wider community is concerned, we believe that's really important. We've had representatives of Rowing New Zealand enthused about having a Masters regatta. If you can envisage rowing skips going down the lakefront, it'll be pretty awesome to watch. Another great sport event for the town. We've agreed with the yacht club that any development will take into account their future plans as well, so the land use is optimised, and discussion with Kaunihera have included concept of joint open days, where yachting, rowing and other sports, water sports are showcased. We've had very strong interest from both colleges already. As I say, we've had 4 school crews out, but really students are missing out at the moment because we can't cope with the larger numbers from our current base. Our goal is to see Taupo represented at the highest level in national and international championships. In the short term, the proposed building can accommodate a limited number of waka and kayaks, and we have suggested to both clubs that room will be made available. However, continued growth of the rowing club will place pressure on storage in the long term. This project is designed to secure the future of rowing in Taupo, but we also see it as a major step toward creating a single space for all Taupo water sports enthusiasts, and ask that councillors lend their support in helping us create a real asset for the Taupo community.
Well, that's a lovely presentation, Mr. Brown. Hope you don't mind calling you Duncan. So I'll open up for questions from fellow councillors. Councillor Minter and Councillor Henderson. Councillor Minter first, please.
Great stuff, Duncan. Just my first question is are you doubling up a club rooms here, or would you be sharing the yachting club rooms type style, or are you incorporating a new club rooms as well as storage?
What we've got there is the front of that building is storage, and we specifically need a 21 metre long space to put rowing skips on one wall. We have got ablution facilities designed for downstairs, and upstairs will be gymnasium and some social facilities. So there will be some doubling up, but what we're going to do is complement what the yacht club are doing. I've spoken to Dean Rowe, and we will look at what facilities they've got and look at adding on so that whole area there will be maximised as far as potential events go.
Councillor Henderson.
I note that the proposal is only seeking approval in principle, but I have 2 questions. First one relates to unserviced with water, power or sewer connections, and if there's any ideas on costs or the implications of that are worth commenting on at this stage. And then the other one is technical difficulties in terms of the current status of the land and whether it is suitable for building. Does the suitability for building relate to geotechnical issues, or what's the issue there?
I don't know that there's been any engineering feasibility done on the suitability of that building site. It's not far above lake level, and it's within the foreshore protection zone, and nestled back into that bank on Ferry Road. So I don't believe that there's been any work done yet to ensure that that site is suitable, nor has there been any work done on the costing.
Okay. Thanks.
Councillor Williams.
Yes, thank you very much for your presentation. Fantastic idea, and I know there's a lot of interest in rowing amongst the local community, but just from my own past experience, having children who've rowed, I don't want to be a doomsdayer, but rivers rivers tend to have more use than lakes. There seems to be some inherent difficulties with weather conditions, and I know Wellington Harbour, Auckland, Kaunihera have had issues with regards to actual days that they can get these boats out on, the skiffs out on the water to train. So just really checking to make sure that you've got somewhere where your rowers can train and be perhaps a bit sheltered from the weather. get full use out of your...
No, it's a really good point, and this may not be an absolute ideal point from rowing purely perspective. There's room with land we identified at Little Acacia Bay early on, further out of town. That water is better. However, as far as an overall package goes for nurturing a club and getting a community-based facility going, having the centralised location really is paramount to getting school activity involved. I've found that parents will engage if they don't have to travel too far. This is walking distance for training, etc., etc. So you've got two aspects. This club room will allow kids to train when it's rough. We'll have ergometers inside. We'll take care of that. When these rowers actually develop a little bit further, they will travel to train. And so what you do here is initiate the sport of rowing in one central spot. And over the last 5 years, we've had quite a number of open days in exactly this location. I mean, a couple of these photos in here are taken from the spot here, and it gives you an indication of what we can do there. So to answer your question, not perfect as far as rowing goes, but ideal to build a club for the community. So.
And you just trailer the skiffs out to Arataki or somewhere like that?
That's right. We do have
inclement weather, you just trailer them out?
The skiffs are trailered, and that's right.
Does somebody else tell us, Councillor Dana?
Yeah, I suppose hi Duncan in here. Obviously I've seen you come up before council lots of times. My question really relates to, obviously there's only so much population and so much sport, and obviously rowing's got a huge momentum at the moment after the Olympics, very much as rugby did after the Rugby World Cup. And we look at the hockey turf, how that's grown, and obviously that's been the detriment of other sports. Here we're kind of creating another club which is just down from the yacht club. You know, I just wondered why, you know, there wasn't something incorporated closer or part of the yacht club so you actually become part of them and make it more solid and more viable for the future, being both as two rather than having a separate facility.
It's a good point. There's two aspects there. First of all, you've got two designations of land here. First of all, you've got dockland, which you guys know the yacht club is sitting on. They've got issues as far as lease goes. We did explore building on top of the bunker. The yacht club are desperately short of storage space themselves. So they have got plans we put to council some time ago to extend that bunker by 50%. Yeah. We've taken that growth into account when we're doing our plans, but what we see here is we are future-proofing Taupo development, and we believe there's probably room for other storage or other sheds for general water sports. I think, you know, the discussions we had over the last 3 years indicated that council was looking to centralise water sports, and if we take that yacht club there and say, well, it's absolutely maxed out as far as storage space goes, and its future is not guaranteed at this stage either. So by creating this facility here, we are really guaranteeing the future of water sports in this particular area, and I think it's a base that we can grow from. And I think what will happen is when the yacht club design the bunker extension, they will clearly take into account what we're doing there, and aesthetically you can blend that whole thing in and really lift the whole area as it is now.
Councillor Minster?
My question, it might not be for you, Doug, it's just, does the Department of Internal Affairs and the Harbour Master have to do with this as well? Do you have to go through hoops there?
We probably need to get through your chair. Just need to explain a little bit about the legal road situation.
Don't know how clear it is on the map there. You can see there's a dividing line back down between to the right of the yacht club. That is the boundary of the Department of Internal Affairs land, and on the right side of that is legal road, apart from the little green area that the bunker's on. That's been stopped in the past and it's now reserved. So the area in yellow that these guys want to occupy is legal road at the moment. That would need to be stopped and turned into reserve in order for us to lease it. The access to that building would either be direct from Ferry Road at the top level, just walking onto the roof of the building and then maybe coming down some stairs, or vehicle access would have to be across the Department of Internal Affairs land, across the front of the yacht club. So there will need to be some involvement with the Department of Internal Affairs and DOC in order to get permission for access across the front of the yacht club
Thanks, Alison.
area to get to the building.
For sure. Okay, thanks, Alison. Thank you.
But I think just before I take Councillor Henry, I think just for clarity for the councillors, this has sort of been floated past the harbour master and he's quite in tune with it, isn't he?
Yeah.
This is what we're wanting to hear. The partnerships and the corridor, there's a lot of work gone into this, including the yacht club, whether it's joined up and how far apart because of expansion, harbour masters. So this has gone past a lot of people already, hasn't it?
That's right. I've spoken to the yacht club, whaka, kayaking,
I
harbour
know you spoke to
master.
the yacht club, that was 2 years of negotiating. Councillor Henderson.
Yeah, clearly some work's been done, some more needs to be done. Just note the resolution's just seeking approval in principle and it might cost us $5 or $8 grand to do some work on it, so I'll move the motion.
Well, there's a motion on the floor, is that second or? So Councillor Kirk would like to be the second. Just before I put it to the motion, because I totally support this and I actually didn't need to push Duncan very hard, but every time I see him at Dave for beer or something, when are you coming, Duncan? We're going to get this done. But I'd also just like to note that Duncan's been supported today by Hugh Monroe on his right-hand side there. And if the CEO tells me he's right, you're obviously in very good hands to build a club because your grandfather brought rugby to New Zealand.
Great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather. I was going to say, yeah, you're not old enough. Yeah, great-grandfather. So the lineage, obviously, if you're going to help get the rowing club built and down there, I think it's absolutely fantastic. So well done, and I know I'm speaking on behalf of the rest of my councillors here, and I can see it in their body language. They do want to see this happen. They do want to help you to get this to happen. So keep moving it, team, and you have a mover and a second. I'm going to put the motion to the floor. All those in favour? Oh, just what I do?
I'd just like to ask Alison one question. Have we talked to the Department of Conservation regarding access? You know, because really, there's not a problem.
I don't know if they'll roam.
There wouldn't be a problem with allowing access to this new building, surely, would there? Do you think?
I would like to think we would.
Well, Councillor Hacken, we're not going to be changing anything that happens actually right
I know,
now.
I appreciate that.
Hugh's part of your club as well.
I appreciate that, but you wouldn't want to get that.
We wouldn't want to get it wrong, would we?
No, that's all I'm
Yeah.
John
I'm just-
and Mr. Ridd.
So, we'll make sure that we have the instructions from our perspective.
Yeah, just
I'd really like to think that you'll be telling Mr. Cooch-Davian that this councillor is very, very supportive and wants to see this happen and pass him a pen. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye. Carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for
for
your
your
presentation. Well, we've got
Positive things happening around here, isn't it? Isn't it nice with some positive stuff?
We're on the seventh.
Hey, but it just shows that, you know, people and it's like,
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if I can just have your attention again, please.
hey, you know what I mean? Taking our water. That cheeky bugger. Have you done? Are you going to open the bar?
Okay, I'm moving to agenda item number 8. I think this is fairly mechanical. I can't see Mrs. Rouch in the room here. It's just purely renewing the licence of Riverside Park, which appears to be running very, very well. Mover?
I'll move.
Yep.
Moved willingly by Councillor Heckling, seconded by Councillor Johnson. All those in favour? Aye. Carried. We're to now and 9. Next 9 is okay. Special projects officer, Miss Rawley. This is about. Quieten down, ladies, please.
Sorry, which one are we at?